is Jessica Gridner, and today I'm going to be showing you how to graph a trigonometric function. The function we're going to be graphing today is y equals negative 3 sine 2x plus pi over 2. To understand how to graph this function, we have to first look at the parent function, which is y equals sine x. The parent function comes with a base set of x and y values that never change. And I'm gonna set up a table to show you what these x and y values are. The x values for our parent function sine x are always going to be 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. These are our x values for our parent function, and our y values that correspond with these x values are always going to be 0, 1, 0, negative 1, and 0. And now I'm going to draw the graph of our parent function using these points. So 0, 0, 0 would be right here on our graph. Pi over 2 and 1 would be right here. Pi and 0 would be right here. 3 pi over 2 and negative 1 would be right here. And 2 pi and 0 would be right here. Connecting these points, we get a graph that looks like this. And that's what the parent function y equals sine x looks like on our graph. Now we're going to look at the function that we're trying to graph, which is negative 3 sine 2x plus pi over 2. First, we're going to look at this function right here. A sine x bx minus c. And we're going to compare this function to this function. Now we can see that a corresponds with negative 3, b corresponds with 2, and c corresponds with pi over 2. So a would be negative 3 for this function right here, b would be 2, and c would be pi over 2. So we're going to use these values, a, b, and c, and apply them to our parent function table in order to get the x and y values for this function and be able to plot them on our graph. So with a, we're going to take this number and multiply it by our y values on our parent function. So a is always going to be multiplied by our y values. B, well, first we have to look at c. C is going to change our x values of our parent function. and we're going to take the opposite of the sign. So when we're applying it to our x values, since it's a positive pi over 2, we would instead minus it from our x values. We take the opposite of the sign of c. And then we would get the values we get negative pi over 2, 0, pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, and pi over 2. So after minusing our c value from our x values, then we're going to apply b to these values. When we're applying b to our values, we want to take the reciprocal of b. So the reciprocal of b would be 1 over 2, since we're flipping b around. Since b is 2, it could be written as 2, or it could be written as 2 over 1, and then we would flip that around to get 1/2. And we would take this reciprocal value and multiply it by the values we got after we applied c. So it would be times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So negative pi over 2 times 1/2 is negative pi 4, 0. Alright, now we finally got our x values in this column after applying b and c to our x values. We still have yet to multiply our a values for our y column. That's going to be 0, 0 times negative 3, 1 times negative 3 plus negative 3, 0, 3, 0. So after applying a, b, and c to our x and y values, we finally end up with the values that we want to apply to the graph to give us our final graph. In this column. So this is the graph of the parent function, y equals sin x. And now I'm going to graph y equals negative 3 sine 2x plus pi over 2, using the values that we just got. first point is negative pi over 4 and 0. That's going to be right over here. Second point, 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3. Pi over 4 and 0. Pi over 2 and 3. 3 pi over 4 and 0. So right here. And that's what the graph of negative 3 sine 2x plus pi over 2 looks like. So this is our parent function, and this is the function that we were trying to graph. Notice that it's shifted to the left compared to our parent function. It's taller than our parent function, and it's reflected across the x-axis. These are all because of the A, B, and C values that translated our parent function graph into what we finally got. And that's how you graph a trigonometric function.